Michael Jordan did not have any weaknesses in his game. There are literally current superstars that say this, as well as older players that have played against Mike as well.
Jordan was everything. You know, he was the standard. He was what you strive to be as a basketball player. I mean, obviously the shoes, the jersey sales, the commercials, all of that stuff was constant. But when you watch him play, and your eyes were always glued to the TV, glued to him, and he just personified winning. So his skills for the game, his IQ for the game, and his athleticism, it all combined at once and made just a God-level player, in my opinion. His attention to detail. Michael was a pure shooter too. A lot of people didn't label him as a pure shooter because of his athleticism, but I think that he was one of the best shooters to ever play. Top 5, top 10 shooter to ever play. Everything was bottoms. So I tend to watch that because you only hear about your airness and Air Jordan, but to see that the attention to detail to his fundamentals was something that stood out the most, especially as I got older and started to watch more. And I started to realize what the fundamentals of the game really means. But you get it just amazed at his athleticism, but to see the attention to the footwork, his body placement on his shots, winning time and score, everything, it was just perfect. He can adapt his game to anything. He would fit in as the best player in the league. Like, that's what he would be. And, I feel like he'll have more possessions to do more things, but there's also more athleticism in his game. There's more length in his game, but, it's also more space for MJ to go to work. So, I mean, we'll never know, but for sure, I mean, he's a masterful basketball player. Like we've been saying, his skill level is unmatched. So, of course, he'll do numbers in this league today.
Michael Jordan was the most complete basketball player that ever lived. Mm-hmm. Complete. Mm-hmm. Like Kareem was just as effective. Certain people could be, LeBron at times could be just as effective. But the most complete basketball player that ever lived is Michael Jordan.
Do LeBron have a deficiency?
Yes. Yeah.
And what is that?
I would say it's more than one thing.
There's more than, okay. All right, I'm gonna just leave it at that. It's more than one thing. What is MJ's deficiency?
I would say that MJ's deficiency, and nobody ever wants to talk about it, we torched Kobe for his selfish plays because we watched it firsthand all at the same time, and there was social media. So we could say, he shot over 5 people and there's a dude in the corner. We don't say that for Michael Jordan because we don't see all of the game footage right away. But that's a deficiency to me, that he won't make the right play at certain times.
But that's not a deficiency. That's not a skill set. That's not a skill set. That's just a decision, a choice that he made because he feel like he can accomplish on 5 or 3 guys that's playing if he can still be successful. What I'm saying is that
that's a fair point.
LeBron can't shoot free throw. I don't say. Let me take it. I'm not saying that he can't shoot free throw. He's not a great free throw shooter. But when it comes to the game of basketball and the skill set of the game of basketball, that's where it separates from a guy like MJ and a guy like LeBron in terms of the skill set. Michael had no deficiency fundamentally. He was one of the most fundamentally sound guys that ever played the game. And athletic-wise, I mean, hey, that's in the class of his own.
The only thing that keeps getting mentioned by the uneducated fans is Michael Jordan's three-point shooting for some reason, and that he wasn't able to shoot the three. Some crazy satire channels also mentioned that Michael Jordan wasn't able to go left to get clicks, but some fans will actually believe whatever they hear. They will not check anything themselves, they will not do any research, but see someone say literally anything and will believe it at face value. This video is about Michael Jordan and his three-point shooting. Fans today mentioned that as his weakness, but it was actually a weakness? LeBron James is considered a good three-point shooter today by today's fans. He shoots the three with a percentage of 34.8 for his career in the regular season. He practices the three as a part of his game. He puts a lot of time into that practice. James averages 329 three-point attempts per season. while Michael Jordan averaged 118 attempts for a season. Michael Jordan never wanted to have the three-pointer as a major part of his game. He's on video in the beginning of his career stating he doesn't want to shoot the three.
My three-point shooting is something that I don't want to excel at because it takes away from all phases of my game. My game is a fake drive to the hole, penetrate, dish off, dunk, whatever. And when you have that mentality, as I found out in the first game, of making threes, you don't go to the hole as much. You go to the three-point line and you start sitting there waiting for someone to find you. And that's not my mentality. And I don't want to create that because it takes away from my other parts of my game.
When he came into the NBA, the three-pointer has been instated into the NBA only for 5 years. Yet Jordan's three-point percentage was only 2% lower than LeBron James in the regular season, at 32.7. So many LeBron fans brag about this to say that LeBron shoots the three better than Michael, who never actually wanted to shoot the three, but there is a catch, and I don't think they know about it. So here it is. When does anything you do on the court in the NBA matter the most? Well, in the NBA playoffs, right? So I went in and checked the percentages from three-point range for LeBron and Michael Jordan in the playoffs. LeBron actually goes down and Michael's improves. But that's not all. LeBron's three-point percentage in the playoffs goes down to 33.2. Jordan's three-point percentage in the playoffs goes up, wait for it, to also 33.2. But wait, there is even a bigger stat here. So when does anything you do on the court in the NBA really matter the most? Well, on the biggest stage, in the NBA Finals, right? So here we go. On the biggest stage in the NBA Finals stage, Michael Jordan actually outshines LeBron James by a decent margin. LeBron's career three-point percentage in the NBA Finals is 35.2. Jordan's 36.8. Almost 37% from three-point land on the biggest stage in the highest pressure. This literally shows that the tougher the circumstances are, the better three-point shooter Michael Jordan becomes. So in the playoffs, they shoot the three exactly the same, but one of them, Michael Jordan, never really wanted to shoot the three or worked on it as much as LeBron James does. I wanted to make this comparison because the only group that's trying to show Jordan for not having a three-point shot is the LeBron James fan group. Everyone else simply knows better. In the 1990 All-Star, Michael Jordan decided to participate in the three-point contest competition. Do you know what happened then? Jordan produced the worst record of that competition ever, scoring only 5 points. Yes, Michael Jordan holds the worst record of the three-point competition. Everyone has a bad day somewhere. It's a three-point contest, a game for fun, a break in the season, not affecting anything in achieving the ultimate goal, the NBA championship. On that stage, Michael improves tremendously over LeBron. This has to get mentioned because otherwise this video would not be considered as an objective one. And I always make objective videos full of actual facts and not emotional delusions. I'm also 100% sure I would have gotten comments that I didn't mention the fact of Michael Jordan's failure in a three-point contest.
We did it, Joe.
No matter what anyone says, Michael Jordan was a good three-point shooter for a player that never wanted to really use the three as a part of his overall game, and never really worked on that much, but he was definitely not a slouch. Yes, Michael didn't have a weakness in his game, as I said in the beginning of this video. He was the most complete basketball player to ever play, as many of his peers and even today's players state. There's not one thing you can mention as a weakness for Mike. LeBron, on the other hand, even his actual hardcore fans say he has multiple deficiencies in his game.
Do LeBron have a deficiency?
Yes. Yeah.
And what is that?
I would say it's more than one thing.
I also wanted to thank especially Ed Frank, one of my viewers who has become a member of the channel. Thank you, Ed. I appreciate it very much. I'm gonna leave you with that, and I will soon see you in the next video as the normal weekly schedule now will resume. Thank you for sticking with me, and I appreciate every single person who watches and interacts with my videos.